Hi everyone, I'm Lisa with Lisa Plans, and today I wanted to come on my channel and actually show my face and my hair and my shirt I'm wearing today, and my craft room that's a mess behind me. I have a lot of books behind me on this side. It's hard to do this. And on this side I have my clips in this box and some washi and my printer, one of my printers, and a stack of stuff right here. Who knows what's in there? It's a cloth and paper box, I think. But this is my craft room and it needs to be cleaned up. Something terrible. But today I wanted to come on here and do a video about discs versus Traveler's Notebook. I don't know if you can see it in its entirety. But this is a standard Traveler's Notebook. And I wanted to come on here and talk about a lot of the points that I have been actually drawn up for myself because I've been thinking about, dare I say, switching. I know, I'm so sorry. I don't know yet. I really do enjoy the HP Mini and I really want to stay in this for a whole year. But my planning system kind of changed this month and so far it's been okay. I've had plenty of space so far. But there are some other things that I've been looking at the Traveler's Notebook for, and I'm going to explain all of that in great detail in this video. So I am going to spin you around with the magic of video, which is the magic of taking you off here and then cutting the video and then splicing it and then restarting the video. I'm going to do that, and then, yeah, we're going to go over this list I've got. I've been mulling this over for the past probably year and a half, so this is probably going to be a long video. Pull up a drink or two, some popcorn, I don't know. If you are interested in disc versus TN, I think I have a lot of good points here, if I do say so myself. And I wanted to really do a deep dive into this, and if you are also considering bound versus a disc bound setup. Even a ring bound is kind of applies to rings too, maybe a little. If you're thinking about either one of those and you're kind of on the fence like I have been for the past year and a half, I've had a lot of experience. So I thought maybe I could do a video because I do have a lot of, I think I've got a lot of good points here to make. So I'm going to spin you around and then we will take a look. All right, bye. Okay, we are back, and you probably didn't notice that, but I spun you around and cleaned up my desk and all kinds of stuff. So on with the video. I just did a flip of this. This is an HP Mini Discbound planner. I did a flip of this and I explained everything that's in here. So this will not be a video about this particular planner, but I have it here just so I can go over the different aspects of what I wanted to talk about. So we'll keep it here as an example. I will flip through this really quickly. This is also not an in-depth video about a Traveler's Notebook, but I think it's important to kind of go through here and show you what I have before we start the pros and cons of both systems, because there are pros and cons to both of these systems. Who knew? But this is a Chic Sparrow standard size notebook in the Cody leather, and it is a Cascade Deluxe, not Deluxe, it's Cascade Pocket. So see when we get in here that the Cascade pockets go up and down. And this is an ollie clip, and on the side I usually always have a multicolor pen. Usually I have a friction pen that's like 3 or 4 colors, but this one is just a Uniball Jetstream. It's a metal pen. I usually do not put grippy pens in the pen loop because it just doesn't slip in there that easily, and I don't like fighting with it. So yeah, love this leather. Absolutely love the color. I'm in love with my Traveler's Notebooks. So Inside, I'm just going to go through this really quick. This is just an example. I do not have this set up like I would use it. Just to just put that out there. I might use it like this, but probably not. I would have like my pockets a little bit more, probably a little bit more organized, and probably less decor, maybe even. But in the pockets, I just have a washi cutter, I have a tip-in card, and I've got a Hobonichi stencil, and I've got a little Simon clip. And in here, I just have some note paper, and I've got Paper Penguin Co. 12-month booklet. I'm going to go through my booklets now. Paper Penguin Co. 12-month, and it's a Sunday start, and it has notes in the back. As you can see, I haven't even set this up yet because I'm not actually using it. Here's proof. It's all blank. So I love this insert though because it is so basic and simple. And I love how there is enough space in the back to where you can put a month on one page and have to-do notes all in the back. Or you can also tip in things like trackers or just anything you want. Yeah, basically anything you want. Any kind of list you want. Whatever you want to do. That's my first insert. My second insert is always my Traveler's Company. I want to say, I almost said week on. I guess it is a week on 2, I guess. A week on 1. I can't remember. But it's the Hobonichi style weeks layout. It's just kind of ginormous. And I love how it has all the way up until June in here. All the way up until June. So that is such a big bonus. We're going to go through that too. This is my daily insert. And in here I have all the days all the way until the 29th, obviously, of this month. This is a Traveler's Company 002 insert, and it has enough pages to what? 31. You can have the whole month in here, day on 2, and it fits perfectly. My favorite insert of all time. I love this insert. It's my favorite paper, my favorite grid. I can't quit this insert. If I were to come back to a traveler's notebook, this would be my go-to. And it's the one that I write in the most and every single day, several times a day. This is it. Absolutely adore it. I hope they never stop making it. Hope they never stop change the quality and the number of papers that are in here, because I would have a heart attack if I went to a traveler's notebook again and then that happened. I'm like, oh, that would freak me out. This is just a Cocoa Daisy notebook that came in the Elegance Blooms kit several years ago. Nowadays, they don't have these lines in here. You can actually use this for a whole day if you wanted to. And they have the pretty striped pages. This is absolutely gorgeous. I just never got into their notebooks. I never used this as a weekly because I had my Traveler's Company week on 2. So I never really used this. And I might have even been in something else this month. Who knows? This is probably when I was planner hopping like a bunny rabbit. And this is a Keely Reichman pouch that I purchased off of Etsy. I will link everything below, by the way, all the inserts, all the stuff. So you will be able to find it. This is just a Traveler's Company lined insert. I think it's their 001. I don't know. But it's just a regular old lined insert. And back here, this is the back of that Keely Reichman pouch. I have tipped in just a small B6 Slim notebook. It looks like I kind of messed it up. Oops. This is actually from Jibun Techo, the B6 Slim size. They make these little notebooks that kind of fit with the Jibun Techo. But you can actually buy something like this, like you can even put a field notes back here, or you can put anything you want back here if you have a secretarial pocket. But sometimes I might pop in a notebook back here just for like work notes. if I'm in a TN, I will do that occasionally. I haven't done it in a very long time though, but I have done it before in the past and it seemed to kind of work out. It just kind of sits there and you can, everything still kind of closes. It's kind of stuffed. Now, I would never have my traveler's notebook this stuffed, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I would never carry a Keely Reichman pouch unless it was, if I was going on a trip, probably. Otherwise, I don't use this. I have several of her little pouches, but I'm not really tempted to buy anymore because I don't use them on a day-to-day basis. They're absolutely gorgeous, fantastic quality. Love the zipper pocket, which isn't opening right now. Here we go. They have great pockets. She puts this in here. Show me your planner, girl, journals. So lots of credit card slots through here. There's a big pocket here, and there's a pocket back here. And they're made with recycled, I don't think they're recycled. I think they're just shopping bags, like the reusable shopping bags. But they're so sturdy and they're thin yet sturdy. I guess they're well made, and I think it's perfect for a traveler's notebook. It's like we're not throwing anything heavy in here, like a gallon of milk, right? So it works out really well. So for the time being, I'm going to actually take out some of this just because it's going to drive me a little crazy when I go through this. So in the back pocket, I have a Taroko design traveler's notebook. This is a writing board. In Japanese, it's shitajiki, I think. If you go to Jet Pens, you can actually find out what the exact pronunciation is of their Japanese supplies. And you can actually hear the word being spoken. I think it's shitajiki. Shitajiki? I think it's shitajiki. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I lived in Japan for 3 years. I still don't know. No lie. All right. So let's go over my notes. So both of these systems are absolute gorgeous. Both of these systems are really functional for me. It's just that some things I love about this and some things I love about this. And I don't want to be in two systems. I'm not a two-system girl. I would rather be in one system. And right now it's this. And I'm going to go over the differences. So maybe by the end of this video, you might be wanting to purchase a traveler's notebook because most of my pluses are traveler's notebook. But we're in this. So let's go through it, shall we? I'm going to take a sip of Crystal Light here. And I'll show you the pain and agony of what I've been going through for the past year and a half. Planner hopping between the traveler's notebook and a Discbound system. And sometimes rings, but mostly Discbound. So here we go. Here are the pros and cons of both of these. And this is going to be a long video. Like I said, pull up, drinking some popcorn. Okay, so traveler's notebook. So when I was setting up one of my Discbound systems, I think it was January, my January one, my printer died. Actually, it's my laser printer that I thought was giving me issues. It's fine now, but it was giving me some serious issues. And my toner cartridge for that laser printer is $146 off Amazon. It is well worth it though, if I use it, because it does last me probably a good 6 months to a year, depending on how often I use it. So maybe a year it lasts me. I think it lasts me almost a year. $146 for that toner cartridge. And I also shudder to think, because that printer that I have, it's a LaserJet. That sounded very Missouri twang. LaserJet. That LaserJet printer that I own. It's a nice LaserJet. One of my jobs I do for a living is troubleshoot commercial label printers. And I bought that one because we had those in our warehouse and they got used every single day, every day, several times a day. And those things take a beating. It's an HP LaserJet. What is this thing? HP LaserJet. LaserJet Pro 4020DN model. That's my LaserJet printer. Now, you don't have to use a LaserJet printer to print these inserts. You can use an inkjet printer. It's just that I like to use LaserJet because the ink, it lays down differently than it does on a jet printer, or inkjet printer is what I want to say, inkjet. And it doesn't erase as easily. So if I use friction pens, if I go to erase, that line's probably not going to come off. It's probably going to stay intact. So, and it's just a lot faster to print my inserts on LaserJet, and the quality of the insert and the, I guess, the darkness of the print is just a little bit better than my inkjet. So, but my inkjet decided to kind of give me problems. Not my inkjet, I'm sorry, my LaserJet. My LaserJet gave me a little bit of problems in January, and it got me thinking, what would happen if my LaserJet printer died? I could replace it, sure, but it's very expensive, and right now I don't have a lot of money to replace a LaserJet printer. And I thought to myself, okay, would I want to go ahead and just print everything on inkjet? I might be okay with that, but over the long haul, what would I want to do? And what would happen, let's say, if I had to travel a lot? So, like, really not even have a permanent place to live. I mean, this is just a dream of mine. Like, what if I was just running around in an RV, or that would never happen. But what if I was, you know, just somewhere else where I didn't really want to have a lot of stuff? The Traveler's Notebook, just being the word traveler, should tell you something. You don't have to worry about those things. You don't have to worry about printing inserts. You just get the book, and you can actually, you know, stock up on these, and you won't have to worry about any type of printing, cutting, punching. You wouldn't need a giant punch, because a Levenger punch, this punch for Levenger, I mean, this thing is huge. It's the greatest punch ever, though. I love Levenger punch. If you don't have a Levenger punch, I highly recommend it. I don't use a Happy Planner punch. Not that I have anything against Happy Planner. I just purchased this Levenger punch to do junior Discbound when I first started, and that's what I have available to me. Otherwise, I might, you know, have gotten a Happy Planner punch and used Happy Planner products. But I don't have that. But I have the Levenger punch. This thing, if there's a tornado coming, I'm going to hold on to this because it's so heavy. But it's very heavy and very bulky, and it's not something that I would want to travel with, move around a lot with. So that is a consideration if you are thinking about this style versus this style, is that the inserts here are kind of fussy to print, cut, and punch. And that's another thing. Having a paper cutter to cut this too, you would have to store that somewhere. So, and carry that with you. If you are someone who is more transient, and you know, maybe you don't have a permanent home, maybe you run around different houses visiting relatives, who knows? Maybe you spend a month going somewhere. It's definitely something to consider, the print, cut, punch conundrum. So it's a lot of work to print, cut, and punch all these inserts. But we do it because if you are in a discbound or a ring-bound planner, you can move those pages around, right? That is the benefit of being in here. One of the biggest benefits of being in a discbound is that you can move these inserts around. Just want to make sure I don't have anything too far. You can even fold it back on itself. So this type of notebook, I can't do that. I can't really fold it back on itself unless I take the insert out and then fold it. And then I don't think really anybody would want to do that with a Traveler's Notebook insert, but you could. It might, hurt the insert a bit, but I mean, you technically could do it. But so that is why we spend all that time and money cutting and punching these inserts. So I actually did the math. I did math, you guys. I'm terrible at math. But I figured out that my printer cost for the whole year, excuse me, is $270. And that is with one toner cartridge. That is with the paper and also, was it just toner and paper? And it's also with my ink for my inkjet, my instant ink from HP. So it's about 100 sheets. I kind of guesstimated maybe I used 100 sheets. I'm not going to say I use 100 sheets a month. That's for sure not the case. Maybe I thought it might be a quarter. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what I did that. But my books turned out to be a little cheaper, like $100 cheaper. If I got the 002 inserts for $5.50 from Tokyo Pen Shop. You can find them other places. They're a little bit more expensive. My weekly books from Traveler's Company are $26. The yearbook from Paper Penguin Co. is $12. And I might buy some other ones, like the 001 insert is only, you know, $5.50 too. So it's really not a lot when you add it all up. But I'm using a LaserJet printer, so there's a lot of people that don't use a LaserJet. They use a inkjet, so that's going to be a lot cheaper. Although your color cartridges, that might eat up, yeah, that might eat up some of that cost. Not eat up, I'm sorry. Increase the cost. If you are printing only on an inkjet printer, that cost is going to go up. Compared to mine, because I don't really use my inkjet that much. I use my LaserJet, so you might be eating a lot of ink out of that inkjet. So, and the paper cost is probably going to be the same because you're using the same amount of paper. I probably am. So the cost for the books versus the printer, and also I didn't even really talk about the maintenance of the printer. What happens if your printer dies and you have to run out and buy a new one? So, or you have to have it serviced. Like I would have my HP LaserJet serviced if it, like the drum went bad inside or the fuser or something like that. So you're looking at those costs. So that is a big negative with the Discbound planner. With the Traveler's Notebook, I order my notebooks and they just get popped in here and that's it. So I'm shaking the camera. So that is a big plus for the notebook. But darn it, I love my very white bright paper from HP, 32 pound. And I love that it lays flat for me, perfectly flat. And I love the fact that it folds over on itself. So yeah, those are huge bonuses to a Discbound planner. Now, you don't have to purchase all, or I'm sorry, you don't have to print and cut all your inserts in here. You can buy just about every insert you could want for an HP Mini. If you go to janesagenda.com, they have monthlies, weeklies, dailies, note paper. I mean, you can buy it all, but it's going to cost you quite a bit of money too. So consider that when you are thinking about printing and cutting. But I like to find my own inserts out in the internet world and customize it how I like to see my inserts. I'm very picky with my inserts. As you know, my monthly insert has been a saga. Finally found the right one. Thank you, SM Plans. Absolutely love it. Okay, so another thing about a plus for the Discbound is that you can move things around. So it's another benefit of having a disc. You can just take it right out, put it in, move it around. This thing is 100% customizable. Discs are 100% customizable because you can change out the covers. absolutely fabulous. You can change out anything you want. And that has been a big game changer for me with the discs. Is there are times when I don't want an insert in here. I'm like, oh no. So what happens if I make a list in here, right? In my traveler's notebook, my traveler's notebook. I gotta stop my Missouri twang. I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been talking to a lot of, actually, no, I talked to somebody from New York today. I don't know why I didn't pick that up, but that would have been awesome. Awesome for this video. I love the New York accent. But if I put a note in here and it's irrelevant, I can't really take it out. I mean, I could if I really wanted to. I do have a tool that I can just take out a piece of paper and just leave a little bit left so, you know, the back page doesn't come out. You can also do that with a paper trimmer. You can put this on the book on a paper trimmer and just kind of cut a little bit off, and you can cut this page out. But I absolutely hate it. When I go back into my notebook and I see that little flap right here, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. You could cover it, I guess, with a piece of scrapbook paper. Don't really do that. But that piece of paper is in there sort of forever. Which for some people, it doesn't bother them. I mean, they can go ahead and just clip it. Say you didn't like this page and all of this information no longer is relevant. Maybe you made like a Halloween list or something and now it's August. It's like, I don't need that. You can just clip it and just leave it like that. You don't have to have this kind of ginormous clip. You can use a smaller clip. And just keep on trucking with your notebook. But one of the biggest benefits of this is that you can just yank it right out. So that is another thing that has been bothering me about the traveler's notebook, is that I can't take my pages out. That is a huge, huge pet peeve for me. I want to say a huge con. Not being able to take out a piece of paper if it's irrelevant anymore, because my brain likes it decluttered. It likes it clean. No, you know, no fuss, no muss. So this type also lays flat. So that is another big one for me. I love how the discs lay perfectly flat. This does not. As you can see, everything just kind of falls apart unless you use clips. Now I do use clips sometimes. So you can just use these big brass clips. Traveler's Company makes these giant brass clips. And a lot of times if I'm at work or even at home, out on my desk, I will just leave my notebook open like this with the clips. And it stays, you know, pretty flat and open. The more clips you have in here, though, the more less flat everything's going to lay. But you can get these little ollie clips, and they lay a lot flatter. Your notebook stays a lot flatter with the little ollie clips. So that is an option just to make sure that your notebook lays flat. You can also just take the notebook out and leave it on your desk and leave it flat open like that. So that's another benefit of the traveler's notebook. You can actually take the whole book out, leave it on your desk, work out of it, and then pop it back in your notebook. I have done that too at my work desk, and that was a real big plus. Being able to have these days just kind of right there. I mean, I have it here, and that's why I like this. But if I wanted like the whole month just right at my fingertips, I can just pop this notebook out of my notebook, out of my notebook, and just leave it on my desk. And that was a huge plus. So yeah, I kind of miss that. I miss doing that. But I have the same thing in here, and everything is just right here. The whole planner in one small little form factor. That's nice too, but sometimes you just kind of want a piece of paper out, or just, you know, a lighter thing on your desk. That kind of helps. So, it's kind of a wash, but what else? Oh, I love my dangly bookmarks, you guys. I love these. bought these off a shop called Tail to Tell. I just bumped the camera again, so sorry. Bought these, but I love making these too. So I don't know if you saw my September setup. I think, yeah, my September setup, I went a little nuts with the beads. It was out of control. I had like 4 bookmarks on it with just gigantic beads all over the place. I really do like that. I also like, sometimes I'll even clip them up here at the top. These top elastics. I do not like putting anything on this strap, on this elastic, because it does dent in here. It will scratch. I did that with my first traveler's notebooks, and then I stopped doing it when I got all my narrows, because I just didn't want the dents right here. But I'm from time to time I might put like a flat charm on here. I might have like one that's not going to dent here, but it's like a, oh, what is it? Like a, what they call a brooch or something. Maybe something like that. Something flat I'll put on here. But it's rare. I don't like having anything on here because it kind of just messes with the strap and it gets fumbly. So that's another thing. I like really decorating the traveler's notebook out with tons of beads. And I do like my little bows. I will put tons of clips on here. I do like doing it on here too. So that's no different. That's kind of the same. I can still have my bows and my little cute little flower. But I usually don't have any dangly bookmarks on here because there's really nowhere for me to dangle them from. Because I don't use the Happy Planner discs with the holes in it. You can dangle it from there, but... Or you can use like a paper clip too. I've used a paper clip and had some little dangly beads off that. So that's a possibility. So, but it just seems to be a little easier with a traveler's notebook. Having it, you know, a cord that wraps all the way around your insert is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do miss my beads. They're so pretty. Let's see. Better paper. So this is debatable though, because I like my 32-pound paper in here. The only problem, well, I'm not gonna say the only problem with discs because this is a video about all kinds of problems with discs, and the other one. But the paper I'm using in here is 32-pound HP Bright White. It's beautiful paper. I just love writing on this paper. But when you're in discs, you have to use a thicker paper because these mushroom, where it's punched, can tear up pretty bad. I've kind of tried to use things like washi, clear packing tape on some of my inserts that I know I want to archive and keep. Like some of my decor pieces, I will put like packing tape on. Clear packing tape just to reinforce these mushroom punches. My dailies, I don't care because I'm just going to toss it so they don't get that. But that is kind of a pain to have to be, you know, gentle with these punches. That's kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. And it kind of limits the type of paper that you can use in here. I cannot use a thin Tomoe River paper in this Discbound. I mean, you technically could, but I think it would drive me batty because I think it would tear up. Like thin Stalogy paper probably wouldn't work in here. I actually do have some, what did I do with it? It's in here somewhere. I actually do have a 002 insert, here it is, that I cut down. This is the same paper as this. This is from this same notebook. And I know it's not going to really hold up in here very well, but because I crave that thinner or just different paper feel, if you're a planner girl, you know what I'm talking about, right? You like the feel of paper, and that's the reason why you're in a paper planner. That's one of the big reasons why you're in a paper planner, right? It's because you like that paper texture and crinkly and just whatever, right? The way it flips. Different, I want to say different color, but I don't even know about the color, but the different coating that they put on these. There are different coatings that they put on paper. And just the different, I don't know, different grid sizes, so many options. Stalogy paper, Tomoe River paper. Go to Paper Penguin Co. She has a whole section based on paper samples. You can buy tons of paper samples because she makes all kinds of traveler's notebooks in different types of papers, and it's absolutely fabulous. And I love her shop dearly. So, in fact, I have a piece of paper back here, and I talked about it in my last video. I can just go right to it because this is my favorite piece of paper in my planner. It's thicker, so it can stand the mushroom punch, but this is a Paper Penguin Co. graph, and it's part of her, I don't know if it's her Corona White, Snow White Corona paper. I absolutely love it. And there's just something about this paper. Like if you touch it and move it around. If you're a planner girl, you know, I'm not weird. I know I'm not being weird. So don't even come at me in the comments. But it is fabulous paper. It's just something about it. So there you go. So I love this paper. And I do like the, you know, the 32-pound paper that I have in here too. So yeah, I really like the paper. But in a traveler's notebook, you can have different types of paper, and it's probably not going to kill your notebook because there's nothing punched in it. Like this is definitely, it's not Tomoe River paper, but it is a very thin, smooth, lovely paper in the Jibun Techo. I think it's Mio paper, actually. See, there's all kinds of different Japanese papers, right? So this is Mio. I believe it's Mio. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Mio paper, or it might be Kokuyo. I know it's made by Kokuyo in Japan, but maybe it's called Mio. But anyway, Kokuyo makes some really awesome paper. So you can actually buy their loose leaf paper, and they also make some great notebooks, like regular notebooks. They're a fabulous company, and they make some great paper. So after you've written on this, if you use like a ballpoint or maybe even a gel, but ballpoint will just make it so crinkly. And I don't know, if you're a planner girl, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so there's my paper rant. Okay, I also have let's see, I brought some other things over here from my stash. This is a cut down, a Pika notebook. This was an A5 and I cut it down. And this paper is exquisite. If you've ever purchased a Pika notebook, this is also a Japanese notebook. The paper in here is so smooth, and dare I say it, like feels cool. And I love writing on it. I just love writing on it. If I can just get over the fact that if there's something I've written in here I don't need anymore, I can just ignore it and move on. I think a traveler's notebook might be for me. But yeah, I do miss different paper types in my notebooks. So that's one plus of a traveler's notebook. Not to say you couldn't have some of this paper in here. It's just better in a traveler's notebook because you're not cutting, punching it. It stays intact. The notebook stays intact. And I mean, I don't know how long this would last in here if I were to punch it. Probably not very long. Yeah, it just wouldn't hold up as well. And there's just something about it being bound too, that you can, I don't know, just feel the paper. You know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend you don't. Okay. Let's see. Easy to set up. So yes, this does take quite a lot of effort to set up. Now I enjoy doing it because I'm a planner girl. It's my hobby. I look forward to that Saturday once a month where I can sit down with all my stuff, decorate, print, date my pages, you know, mess around with my planner and make it the way I want for the next month coming up. I do the same thing in here if I am in a notebook. Big difference though is that this is so much easier to set up because of the notebooks. Just the nature of not having to print, cut, and punch. And the notebook just slides right in, and all I really got to do is, if I want to, I can tape it, date it, and that's pretty much really all I do. It's really just decorate in here. Whereas in here, I'm pretty much setting up the whole thing from the ground up. Well, I did in January. That is 100% brand new planner. Everything was brand new. Monthlies were brand new. Weeklies, well, weeklies are always brand new. But just some of the trackers I had in there for the year. Some of the inserts, like the yearly overview. All brand new. So, but mostly, like a lot of the note pages are still in there. Work section. But there's so much of this that is reset up every month. So brand new meal pages, brand new dailies, brand new weeklies, brand new, a couple monthlies I might pop in here, new trackers, new note pages. So much is redone in here. I'm going to say redone, but just new. So there's a lot of setup, ton of setup, new decor, new acetates. Although I would do this in here too, it just wouldn't be as much as if it were in here. So this little guy requires a lot of setup. He looks small, but she mighty. She looks small, but she's mighty, you guys. Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff going on in here. So, which there are months that I don't want to do this. I don't want to set this up. And I think maybe February might have been one of those months. I was just like, I don't want to do it. Eventually I got in the mood and obviously I did it. But it's like it takes a lot more effort. And there are times when I'm just like, do I really want to set this up? When I can just pop a notebook in. In fact, actually that is what I did in February. I actually set this notebook up first before I set all this up because I just did not want to set this up. I'm just like, nope, not printing, cutting, punching, nothing. Nope. I'm just going to tape and use my marker and put my stickers down. And that's all I did. I didn't even decorate the covers. Usually when I'm in a traveler's notebook, 100%, I will decorate these covers. And all I did was just throw some washi down because I knew I wasn't really going to use it that much. But if I was going to use it, I would have decorated this, covered it with, and I'll show you an example. If I can find it, it's right up here. I usually cover it with cardstock, and this is Cocoa Daisy. This is my August one. I actually was in a notebook in August last year, and I was in this full time. But I use what's called I want to say it's the Reset Girl. She's got a video. If you haven't heard of her, she is on YouTube, and she, I want to say invented, but kind of created this way to cover notebooks up with some packing tape, washi, and cardstock. So she would cut this to size, cut this to size. These are two different pieces of cardstock glued down. Then you put down two pieces of matching washi, or not matching washi, whichever you want to do. And then you put a piece of packing tape over this just to reinforce the spine. And you don't actually have to do all of this part. You can just glue this down, leave this, you know, I want to say naked, without any decor on it. But it looks so much better, and it actually does hold up better if you put this on the back. It does bulk up your traveler's notebook. It does make it a little bit thicker because you're putting, you know, cardstock here. But yeah, it really does make this notebook last a lot longer. And I love to archive these. It's so much easier to archive the notebooks. And that is another pro of the traveler's notebook, which I wanted to talk about. So it is so much easier to archive stuff in here, you guys. So much easier. Anyone who's ever been in a bound book knows that it is so much easier to archive the bound books. I did make an archive planner for my Discbound this year. But, you know, I'm just finding it kind of a pain to tear these pages out, which it's not a pain to tear these pages out. But I'm finding it's just kind of a pain to take these pages out and find my archive planner and then pop them in where I want them. And I think I'm going to run out of space already. And I'm not too excited about archiving this. I'm like, meh, I don't really want to do it. But these books, this is from last year. I think it's from last year. 2023, yeah. So it's already kind of done, right? So, I mean, everything's here. I don't have to worry about, you know, I might have names and stuff in here. I don't know. But, yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I don't have to worry about this page. But, so everything's decorated already. I have everything on here. Yeah, my mom's 80th birthday was 2022. I guess this is 2022. Yeah. So she's gonna be 82 this year. Huh. But see how nice that is? So I don't think I had this anywhere else, except maybe I have a Hobonichi Weeks that probably has all this. But, you know, if I use this consistently, this weekly from Traveler's Company, I wouldn't have to use the Hobonichi Weeks to archive everything, although I just have to make sure that whatever is in here actually happened. Maybe I can mark it that it got canceled or something, or, you know, I use Friction, and here I could just, you know, erase it out. But, so, yeah, I just want to look through this and see, because I want to talk about something else about this. That's kind of a downfall of the Traveler's Notebook. So, archiving, excellent, excellent, excellent with these books. Not so much in here, but it is what it is. So I did actually keep a whole year, or even more of a whole year's worth of books, but I threw out a lot of them. They were from maybe they're from 2022, 2021, 2021. I did, 2021 I was in a notebook for the whole year, and I kept all those books, and I kept a few of them because I did some journaling in there, and I did some like doodling, drawing. I'm like, you know, I'm going to keep that. So that is another good reason to keep these books. There's so much space on here that I might write notes on here. I put like, I just don't journal a lot. So this actually encourages me to do a little bit of memory keeping in these books. So that's another reason to be in a Traveler's Notebook, because in here, I definitely don't do that. This page is going to go in the trash. But I also think that, you know, if I don't do that month, it's kind of a waste to save this, because with my line of work, all I'm going to put on here, I mean, I'll map out my day and everything and my 4 quadrants. It's just lovely for that. But do I really need to know that I installed a printer for someone on February 15th? It just seems so ridiculous to me. But if I were to like doodle a little pretty thing on here or write some notes in here, then yeah, maybe I would keep this, because I like looking back at that. So if I were to, I don't want to say force myself to journal, because who wants to do that? If I were to doodle in here and journal and just write notes, like I have the date we bought our phones, and that's so kind of cool that I have that in there, because I can look back and see, okay, yeah, we've had our phones for like 2 or 3 years now. Maybe we need to get some new ones. So that's a huge benefit. And here I might not necessarily keep that kind of information, and it's going to get lost. So it's a negative thing about the discs, I think. Now, there are people that actually do journal in here. So everything in my video right now that I'm talking about, pros and cons, take it with a grain of salt, because it's just my opinion. It is not like a be-all, end-all video for you to decide whether or not you want to stay with Traveler's Notebook or disc, because there are people that really love cutting, punching, and printing their inserts. They would rather do it than buying a book. People journal in here. Yeah, I mean, people would maybe even toss this out and they would be okay with it and still decorate it. So it's really just my personal experience of what I've been doing for the past year and a half. This is just my opinion of what I found that I think is pro and con of this. So let me just put my disclaimer in there, shall I? So another great thing about the Traveler's Notebook is that there are no discs in the way when you're writing. So in here I had my day on 2, where I would have the start of my day on the left hand side, the rest of the day on this right hand side, and I had to come out here and do this. And oh, it was a pain in here until I changed it. But in here, I can do it and it's no problem. You can write everywhere. The only problem is if you're over here and your notebook flips up, it's kind of a pain in the rear. So you just have to remember, just clip it down, and then it's fine. So that's just one small limitation of the Traveler's Notebook. But just to have this on 2 pages without the discs in here is really nice. I do like that. Let's see. What else? Oh, the leather feel. You know, you guys, nothing really beats the feel of a Chic Sparrow notebook. In my opinion. I love picking this up and carrying it around, and it's my bestie. It's my security blanket. So sorry if you hear my neighbor. He's gonna do some car stuff. He is a BMW tech. And every once in a while he'll have someone come over and they'll work on cars and it gets noisy. So sorry if you hear engines and stuff. But yeah, nothing beats the leather feel of a notebook. It's just glorious, especially if it is whole grain. I'm not knocking other brands of notebooks for sure, but my goodness, so nice. And also the speckled fawns, anything. I just love the whole grain. Speckled Fawns has phenomenal notebooks too, and this one is like a Italian leather. Oh yeah, okay, this this channel's not about that. But you know what I mean. If you're a planner girl, you know what I mean. It's another one. But also you can buy leather covers for these. Moterm actually has covers for these. They don't have the veg tan line for this one, and I did ask if they were going to create those, and they said not at this time. They weren't really sure. So that's a bummer. But I did actually, I didn't tell you guys this, but I did return my Moterm leather covers. Because I didn't find myself using those, the wraparound cover. I just don't like them in here. It just feels like it gets in the way for me to have to pull this out, because I do like, you know, flipping it like this a lot. So you can't really do that if it's in that cover. You'd have to take it out and you can still flip it, but I just found myself just taking it out constantly and flipping it. So we're getting to be about an hour here, folks. See if I can speed this up. Leather feel, no rings or discs in the way. These covers last a lifetime. They're gonna last a lifetime, y'all. I'll have these at my funeral, probably. And they're so durable. I don't have hardly any covers that got really messed up. I've actually bought a couple that were actually messed up when I bought them, just so I can take them home and try to condition them and clean them. And one of them is one of my favorites, and it's in the other room on the floor right now. It just was the most awful piece of leather when I got it. It smelled so bad, and it's still got weird marks on it, but I just love that stupid thing. Love it. Cute pouches. You can buy all the cute pouches for these. I have so many from Keely Reichman. She makes all kinds of cute pouches. I think this is about all I've got. Yeah. You can also buy the Traveler's Company type pouches where this is just a card file, and I know people put photos in here and journaling cards and make it real pretty. You can also put like scrapbook paper in here just to decorate it up. Or you can actually put in legitimate business cards in here. What do you know? Who would do that though? You could do that. And this is a, excuse me guys, my nose keeps running. This is a Farof pouch from Traveler's Factory. These are kind of hard to find, I think, right now. I went a little crazy when I first got into my notebook system and just bought everything. And now I have all kinds of stuff though, but I might end up selling it if I'm 100% sure I'm going to stay in here. So it might be something I destash all these lovelies. So look on the accessory board, Traveler's Notebook Accessory BST group. I will post these out there at some point if I'm going to sell them, but this one is so darling. I don't know if I can get rid of it. And I've got a couple more somewhere. These are all standard size. So when you oh, this one's darling too. I just love it. I didn't show this one. Love it, love it, love it. When you go into a system, when you decide to choose a planner system, you are buying into a system. So let me reiterate that point. You are purchasing in here. There's a lot to purchase. So you're buying dividers. You are buying, you know, the paper. Well, you know, the paper stuff. You are buying things like, the, you know, page markers, things like that. So dashboards, you're buying dashboards, you're buying vellums. Maybe you understand what I'm saying now. So you're buying the system, you're buying everything that's for this. And I actually have a lot more dividers, covers, specialized inserts. I'm even, you know, I have the sub box from Jane's Agenda coming to me. You buy the discs, obviously. So you're spending a lot of money here on each thing that you decide to be in. So same thing with a personal ring. I bought all kinds of, you know, back in the day, Foxy Fix dashboards, and I bought, you know, page finders. I have packs of paper, dividers of all kinds, you just name it. So it's so hard to, when you first start planning, to even understand how much money you can spend on a planner system. I've spent so much money. I'm surprised my husband hasn't buried me in the backyard yet. No joke. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But keep in mind, yeah, you're going to spend a lot of money on each system. So Traveler's Notebooks are definitely not cheap. The cover itself, I mean, right now, I mean, it's astronomical how much they're asking for these at Chic Sparrow right now. You could go off the buy sell trade board and find some good deals. You can go to maybe even eBay. Sometimes you'll find something out there, or Mercari, or you can even try like different shops. I'm gonna say, what's a cheaper one out there? I can't think of one right now. But you could go on Etsy and just look for some Traveler's Notebooks. The actual Traveler's Notebook brand is actually fairly inexpensive, but you won't be able to stuff it like this. So keep that in mind. And it doesn't come with the pen loop or pockets, actually. So there's a lot to consider with each system that you're going to set up. So just be wary of that when you go to plan your planning system. That there are a ton of costs involved. The booklets, these aren't cheap. $26 for 2 booklets like these. Crazy. $5.50. But when you compare the cost of a printer like we did before, maybe not so bad. But all the little things like, you know, the bookmarks, if you don't make these yourself, they can get kind of pricey. Just all the little accessories, Ollie block clips. These are like 10 bucks a pop, I think, maybe a little bit more. And then you can get into pens. And if you're into these, you know, nice booklets, then you can get into fountain pens. This is another rabbit hole, right? I think I even got ink all over me from taking this out of the package. So not a big fountain pen fan, actually. So another reason why I kind of like this, but just keep that in mind when you're going to look for a planner system. It's kind of like buying a camera, like a professional camera, where you're buying the body of the camera. Like say this is a body, then you're buying all the lenses and filters and, you know, tripod, you know, all the accessories that you're buying into a system. So once you decide to hop into something else, it's a big deal. It's a big deal money-wise. It's a big deal time-wise. Just energy, everything. You're pouring in a lot to each of these systems. Maybe most people know that, but I just want to talk about that. Yeah, so we already talked about the big clips, bows, and Ollie clips in here. Cute pouches. Change out the books pretty easily. It's very portable. Both of these are pretty portable, but if I was to like go cross country or something, I might prefer something like this. Okay, another few things that I want to touch on. One of the biggest ones right now I'm thinking about is the fact that I think it's this candle that's bothering my nose, you guys. I might have to blow it out, but one of the biggest problems right now I'm having in my Discbound is the fact that I don't have a lot of forward planning in here. Not as much as I want to. This goes all the way till April for the months. And yes, I can put the rest of the year in here if I really wanted to. I mean, I could even buy inserts that just have the month and maybe some more space underneath it just for like tasks and stuff. Just on one page and have it, you know, less bulk. But right now I just have this piece of paper in here for forward planning, and I have something for June. So it's okay. I can kind of get by. But some people might not be able to. Maybe they need that whole year in here. So that's something to consider with discs, is that, yes, you can have it in here, but you might sacrifice some room or, you know, pages in the back, because these 1.5 inch discs, even though they are ginormous, they don't keep everything. Maybe a 2-inch, you might be able to definitely get away with it with the 2-inch discs. But I kind of like having a lot of forward planning. Like my notebook, if you buy the Travelers Company weekly inserts, I mean, these go all the way to June. And then I have another booklet that once May hits, I mean, I could pop it in here. I could pop it in here and then have all the way to December with the weeklies. I think that's pretty cool that you can do that with the weeklies. And then, of course, I have a whole year of monthlies in here. And I can put the months back here and have a spot for to-dos back here. So, tons of forward planning in these booklets. Tons. The only problem is, though, with the tons of forward planning is the decor that you have in here is going to stay in here. So, let me show you this one. So, I think I've already, excuse me with the nose. Oh my goodness. This was back in August, and this was probably August, yeah, 2022. This decor is going to stay in here for the life of this notebook, right? So if I'm planning December in here, And I have some Christmas stuff back here, which I must have not been in here. This might have been the year I had surgery. Yeah, no wonder there's nothing in here. I was taking naps. So glad I had that surgery. But as you can see here, I have, you know, pumpkins here, and I have lemons here. Summer theme, fall theme. And I don't necessarily like that in my planner. I like having a cohesive French theme going on in my planner. I don't want to have lemons, and I don't want to have pumpkins, and I don't want to have Christmas in here. You know what I mean? So that is a drawback of the Traveler's Notebook. Even though there's tons of forward planning, the problem is once you get to the end of these notebooks, you're going to have, you know, lemons, and you're going to have, excuse me, just blue stuff, you know. I don't want to see it. Of course you clip it, right? So there's another one in here. I got like sea stuff, you know. I just don't want to see, I don't want to see this in December. November it might be okay, but you know, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I just don't like it. But this Discbound, everything's cohesive. The decor is the same. When you look through here, I mean, I got my French stuff. Everything's French. Everything's pink. Everything is matchy-matchy. So there's no, you know, not matchy-matchy. Everything's pretty and pink. So that's the plus of being in disc, because it is 100% customizable. You can take out those Christmas pages and not have them in here. So that's another plus for the discs. Let's talk about pluses for the discs, because I haven't really done that. A couple more things about the Traveler's Notebook, and then I'll go into the disc real quick, and then we're gonna end this video because it's already an hour. The friction pens work like a dream on this paper. They work okay on the 32-pound HP Bright White. But what I find is it works great on this 002 paper from Traveler's Company. Every single insert, except maybe the Paper Penguin Co., because it's not that coated paper from Traveler's Company, doesn't quite work as well in here, but oh my goodness, in here it works like a dream. It's so nice, and the erase is so great. I love that. Another thing is, when I'm in a bound system, because I'm not tearing out my pages, I can look back and see tasks that I haven't completed yet. And I don't necessarily have to forward those tasks, so I don't have to rewrite them. That is another plus of the Traveler's Notebook, at least in my planning style. I don't transfer tasks unless they're like super important. I can look back and you see, oh yeah, that's what I intended to do on Saturday. And I also plan to do another video on how I plan in both of these systems, because it is a little different. I can do another video on that. Yeah, so that's it for that. And back to this. Some of the pluses of the Discbound system, because I've been in it for over a year probably now. Hopping in and out of the Traveler's Company notebooks and the inserts I have in here. Why I'm in here and why this is like, I guess, surpassing my Traveler's Notebook itch right now is because it lays so flat. I love how it lays flat. I don't have to worry about pages flipping up, getting in my way. And I love how it also folds on itself. That's such a huge plus for me. I can move my lists around. I think maybe those are the two biggest things, I think, because I can go up here. Excuse me with my sinuses. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh boy, I'm taking Allegra. I can get this little piece of paper right here if I wanted to. Probably just tore it up, but that's okay. And I can go here. Oh, Friday the 16th. Yeah, I'm going away for the weekend on Friday the 16th. Let's just pretend. And I took PTO, and I want to know what I'm taking. See, I'm going on a trip with some family members to Illinois to do something. That's like the next state over. And we're going to go, say it's somewhere we're going to a drive-in, right? Well, if I'm going to the drive-in here, I could write a few things on here about what I want to take, some things I want to consider, but I don't necessarily want to take up all the space on my Friday. Maybe I do have some other things I want to do on this day, like maybe the drive-in's not until that evening, and maybe I'm working half day and I want to get a bunch of work tasks done. Basically, I want to keep this open for my daily tasks, but I have a lot to consider for my drive-in night, right? This is just an example. So in my traveler's notebook, if I was in here, I could use, instead of this note here, I could use a giant Post-it, which I've used giant Post-its in the past, and they will fit right on your page. And I could write it here. Oop, on my Friday the 16th. Now in my notebook, though, I might have enough room to have a list, a separate list for the things I need to consider for this drive-in. In fact, the notebook's perfect for this type of thing because in the notebook, you have plenty of space to get a lot more detailed with your plans than you do in the Discbound. But the Discbound, it's okay because we can just pop in a separate note or a separate list, and we can even like label this drive-in and we can write some things to consider, like, oh, what time do we need to leave? I can actually write that up here. I would actually write that there, but what do we need to do? We probably need to get gas, and the drive-in will let you bring in snacks, so we need to go buy some snacks, and it's going to be, you know, kind of cold because it's February. This is a fake example, but we need to bring blankets and chairs, and I think you understand what I'm saying here. There's a lot more to consider that I can put on this page. So this is just an example. So I can just pop a list right here and say, oh, the drive-in was canceled. We're not going to do it then. We're going to do it the 20th or whatever. Like, I don't know, 23rd. It's just never going to a drive-in in February. But unless you stay in your car, I guess you could. So I can just move that note around. Now I could do the same thing with the Post-it, but in a Discbound, how easy is that? And if it doesn't happen, you can just take it out. So that's one example of why I really like this system, is that I can have my separate lists, and I can have that list wherever I want. So in here, I could do the Post-it. The problem with the Post-it is it kind of gets a little messed up the more it's moved around, and it's covering up other stuff. I could take this out, but wouldn't it be nice if I can just like flip it that way and see my stuff and flip it back? So that's the benefit of the Discbound, is I can do that. So you can also use what Jenny Penton calls, if you use the Planner Perfect method, a tip-in. She calls this a tip-in. And these can be washi, piece of washi into your planner, and you could write stuff on the back here. You could also use like just a piece of scrapbook paper, or if you subscribe to Cocoa Daisy products, you could actually use the notepads that come in the kits and just tear it off and use the blank side on the back and then just washi it in. That's another example. Or you can even just use a clip and just clip it in. That's another thing you could do. And then you have a list right here. So those are just a couple ways that you could do it in a traveler's notebook. But I tell you what, It's a lot easier to do it in the Discbound because you can just tear it out, put it in, and boom, there you have it. Another thing I like about the discs is that everything feels together. So in my notebook, I have a separate book for my, you know, yearly, weekly, daily, and notes. They all feel like kind of separate entities in here because they are. They're separate notebooks. Some people might like that. They like the fact that it's not, you know, in with this book, or it's not, it's separate. Maybe some people might like these being separate booklets. For me, I kind of like everything. It feels like it's one planner. So yeah, kind of like that better. Anything else? I keep showing private information out of my notebook, out of my book here. I don't know if I'm going to edit it. Another thing, a plus about the discs is that there are specialized inserts in here. So my trackers, you can have an add to planner. You can have a 31-month or 31-day tracker, weekly tracker. I mean, the sky's the limit on the type of inserts you can have in here. These are just so incredibly helpful. Although I do go back and forth with trackers quite a bit because I don't always use them. Case in point. So I'm thinking, okay, if I'm not a tracker person and I don't need this tracker section, really, I could go back to a notebook and probably be okay. Because I don't really need all these specialized inserts as much as I thought I did. So that's another thing. I think I've touched on just about everything I could touch on. Yeah, as far as the Disc Pro. But, you know, I'm in here because of the fact that basically it lays flat. I love how I can leave this out on my table. I can find anything I need to so quickly because of the sections. And I can just come downstairs in the morning, half asleep, and myself and my cat get our medications, and I can just check it off. So I haven't done any of this yet because I just got home. But anyway, yeah, so apparently I have a lot of pros for the Traveler's Notebook. If you want to stop the video, you can see my notes. Yeah, so that's why I am so divided. Because there are so many things to love about the Traveler's Notebook. And there's so many things to love about the Discbound. So it's hard, you guys. It's so hard. But tell me what you think in the comments below. What, you know, did you think about all of these things already? Or some of these things I went over, were they like surprising or new concepts? Or what have you found that you have, you know, tried to decide if you're debating between Traveler's Notebook and a Discbound system? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm so interested to know because I would like to add to my list and help me make that, you know, big decision, because it is a big one to make. Because as you know, when I talked about the systems, it's expensive, it's time consuming, and yeah, there's just a lot to it, you guys. There's so much. There's a lot to planning. So this video is 1 hour and 20 minutes. And my voice is going. So I think with that said, if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you like my channel and the content that I show, please feel free to subscribe. And I hope to bring some new videos coming up here. The next one I think I plan to do is how I plan. And I might even do a plan with me after I do that. So these look gorgeous together. I would just love to make, you know, have both of these in my system. But I can't use 2 planners, so. All right, you guys. Hope everyone's having a good day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.